Hello and welcome back to Hill and Ponton Social Security Disability blog. I'm Natalia Jofre, the Social Security Director.
And I'm Shelly Mark. I'm the Senior Social Security Attorney.
So we're talking about continuing disability reviews, and we've been talking about what some of the triggers are, and one of the triggers is fraud. That's a biggie.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So
that's a bad one.
Yeah, that's a bad one. Years ago, it used to be that fraud was rarely heard about. There was a very, very small fraud unit. People used to worry about being followed and being checked up on. And it was kind of like this fantasious thing out there that existed, but really wasn't very effective because they weren't big enough to really make any kind of impact. Fast forward a few years later, and now it is huge. Now it is something significant and that really people need to be aware of. And so one of the few things when budget approvals have gone through,
right,
this is the one place where they're actually putting money towards in Social Security is towards the fraud unit. They are trying to expand it. And they are becoming much more aggressive in evaluating whether people are actually disabled and whether they should be on benefits or not. And of course, we only want to represent people that are legitimately disabled. But sometimes, claimants can lie to Social Security and they can lie to us just as well. And when that happens, that is absolutely fraud. So what do you know to be one of the biggest triggers of how Social Security gets alerted to fraud?
In most of the cases that I'm aware of or have been a part of, unfortunately, they're usually reported by third parties. Mm-hmm. So whether it be by an ex-spouse or a neighbor or someone that the claimant may be working alongside of, it's usually the third parties that are notifying Social Security. And then I suppose that the fraud unit then picks that up and investigates the claim. And, if they do find out that fraud has occurred, it's definitely a punishable offense. I mean, it's very serious.
And even though I think another trigger or alert to that is in the medical records, because even though your doctor is not supposed to disclose information to Social Security regarding, things that are known to them in private or whatever, but they can put like little alerts in their medical records. So like if you're accused of being a malingerer, which is a nice way of saying you're faking it.
Right.
And they ask for your records, or if somebody tips them off and they in turn request your medical records, they can see that in there. Or like I had this one client, this is a true story. And so he would go to his doctor and he was using a cane and he was just in terrible shape, and he would go into the office and whatever. And they were actually very concerned because they couldn't, even though he had some conditions, they didn't feel that they were to the severity of what he was claiming.
Right.
But he was very, very credible when he was in their office. So they waited for him to leave the doctor's office one day and went to the windows to watch him. And the minute he left their building, he took that cane and popped it up under his arm and walked right over to his car. And so the doctor couldn't really report that per se, or felt like he couldn't, but apparently one of his staff members did, and they put that in his records. So when Social Security got a hold of that, they absolutely did go after him for fraud. Of course, we did not continue to represent him because we won't be a part of anything illegal. But it is a really huge deal, and they really do now follow people and watch them. Not everyone, because they can't afford to do that for everyone, but
right. And another thing that will absolutely follow you in your medical records, we've kind of pointed this out in the past a few times, but if you've reported to your doctors that you're working, and even though you're not being taxed, and it seems so innocent but in the medical records, your primary care doctor's progress notes may say claimant's working, doing lawn maintenance 3 days a week or something, and you're reporting to Social Security that you're not working. It's definitely also going to catch you that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm not suggesting that you should work and not tell your doctors. I'm suggesting that you shouldn't work if you're saying you're not working.
Well, yeah.
Right.
There's the contradiction.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to keep talking about reviews. If you have any questions, feel free to call us or visit our website.
Thank you.